New economic impact study has been released, and it tells the story of Alabama's community college system. Joining us now in studio is Keith Phillips from the Alabama Community College System. Keith, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Absolutely.
I know numbers can be a little complicated. Tell us about this data and this impact study.
Sure. So we commissioned an impact study of the community college system, one, to get an idea of what's the true impact that we have on the state, but also to look at it, how does it benefit the value of our students? So what the numbers tell us, the overall economic impact of the community college system based on the FY 2020-2021 numbers, we generate $6.6 billion worth of economic impact or added income to the state. And that's a great number. It's a fantastic number. I think it's important to put $6.6 billion into perspective. Most of us watched the Super Bowl last night, and you always talk about what's the economic impact of the Super Bowl to a community. Well, the community college system is like hosting the Super Bowl for the state of Alabama, not one time, but 16 times. 6.6 billion is 3%, almost 3% of the state's gross state product. If you look at what does that equate to in jobs, it's about 100,000 jobs.
Why is this important? What does this look like in our community on a day-to-day basis?
So it's important for us because our students need to understand, our students and our parents and our taxpayers need to understand what's the return on investment for the community college system. And for the student, that number looks like a 1 to 7 ratio. And what I mean by that is the return on investment for students, for every $1,000 invested in the Alabama Community College System on their education and they complete a 2-year associate's degree, they're going to have an annual earnings of $7,000 for each $1,000 invested. So I think it's safe to say most students would be willing and parents would be willing to trade $1,000 investment to return $7,000. In fact, we're an affordable community college system. If you look at the affordability of our programs with over 300 degrees, credentials, and certifications that's offered, an individual who completes a program at our colleges, a lot of times within the first 2 years, they're going to earn enough income to pay that back. In other words, it really return on investment for the student is significant. For the taxpayers, we're looking at the ratio of 1 to 1.4. So every $1 million that is invested in the community college system from the taxpayer perspective, we generate a surplus. We generate $1.4 million in terms of tax revenue to the state. So we're not only a good investment, we're actually creating surplus for the state.
I know Governor Kay Ivey has continued to talk about education and supporting education. Do you think this really ties into her goals as well when you see this study and you see these numbers?
Oh, absolutely. I believe it ties in. We're Alabama's college system. We've embraced community in our name. 95% of our students are from Alabama, and there's data that proves that 70% of those students who complete their education will still live, work, and play in Alabama communities across the state.
What does a community college student look like? There's such a variety. What is a community? Is there a typical community college?
There is not a typical. We serve all Alabamians, and I really mean that. From those individuals who may not have a high school diploma, it could be those individuals in the state who are learning English as a second language, or it could be that student who's preparing for actually an academic transfer to a university to pursue a doctorate degree. Those are our students. It's hard to say what a typical student looks like because our student it just represents such a wide variety of demographic.
And talk about you have so many numbers here right in front of you, and you all are continuing to grow. Talk about some of your upcoming projects.
Sure. So we're looking at we look at this as an opportunity, but there's data out that says that the graduating senior class are seeking, more and more of those graduating seniors are not seeking post-secondary education. So we're trying to figure out programs in partnership with the K-12 partners. How do we reach back into K-12 and prepare them, not for a job, but prepare them for a career and build programs that we can deliver on in the K-12 system with our partners there that are stackable so that an individual, when they graduate high school, if they're going to choose not to seek post-secondary education, they're going to come out with a credential that's going to get them a good paying job in the state, but also something that they can continue to build on that pathway if they so choose.
Where can people go to learn more about all the courses you offer and everything you all are doing with the community college system?
Sure. I would tell you start at www.accs.edu, and if you're interested in looking at these impact numbers, /impact.
I know you all commissioned this study. Why is it so important? You see the impact you do every single day. Why is it so important to have these numbers in front of you?
It's how we communicate value. You know, everyone who's in higher ed talks about the value of their program. But when you look at the numbers, this really relates. We can take this and relate it to for a student. What does it mean for them? For an ROI, we can talk about to the taxpayers, but we can also talk to the society. The things that, you know, our students, 70% of them live and work and play in our communities. That's significant investment in the community. They also come with benefits that help have cost savings for the government. For instance, we know that a lot of the individuals who go through our program, they're employed. They have health care, so they have less major health incidences in the state that cost taxpayer dollars. So it's a cost savings as well. But overall, this is a good way for us to relay the value.
All right, Keith, thanks so much for joining us here on Alabama Live. We appreciate it.
Thank you.